Okay, welcome to part 3 of the braised chicken dinner. So we're going to take the chicken out. It's seared on all sides now. We're going to drain some of the grease off. Okay, our handy little tongs. Closed, open, closed, open. I never get tired of that. So it's been seared on both sides. We're just going to remove it into a little side tray or side plate or whatever you have. And we're going to make the sauce. Now, I've got a little bit more oil in here than I want, so I'm just going to scoop a little bit out. There's some chicken skin for the dogs. We have some dogs that come cottage to cottage up here. They know all the people who stay all year round. So they'll come to the door and they all expect their little treats and goodies every time. Actually, that's not bad. We've only got about 2 tablespoons in there. So the sauce is made with a little bit of extra garlic, and there's no such thing as too much garlic. They say 4 garlic cloves, and I kind of think, well, that means I can use about 4 tablespoons. There isn't enough garlic in the world. I'm definitely not a vampire, I have to say that. So we're going to throw in some garlic, render that down, a couple of tablespoons of butter or margarine. Let that render down. Going to add 3 tablespoons of flour. Mix that into a broth. And yeah, you can use metal tools in here. You can use anything you like. Again, I like to use my little cornered wooden spatula because that way I can scrape brownings off the bottom. Scrape right into the corners and around the edges. So 3 tablespoons. I finally got my little measuring spoon out properly this time. So this is a multi-measure. Just set it to what you want. 1 tablespoon, 2.5 tablespoons, 2 teaspoons, 1 teaspoon, so on and so forth. So 3 tablespoons of flour. We're going to create a little roux in here. And a roux is a fancy French name for browning butter and flour together. Into this goes about a tablespoon of Dijon mustard. Okay, mix that together. And you want it to be a little thick, as you can see in here. You don't want it to be burning to the bottom of the pan. So our liquid is 1 cup of chicken broth with a 1/2 cup of wine. Pinot Grigio works nice. Any light wine works nice. I like Sauvignon Blanc, so I figure if I like the flavor of the wine that I'm drinking, I'll enjoy the flavor of it in here. That's your rule of thumb. If you don't like the wine you're drinking, you won't like it in the sauce. So any light fruity wine, pour it in a little bit at a time. But I'm also going to show you a couple of neat little tools here. Things that you might not have thought of. Our mix and mash. Great for making mashed potatoes. Nice and smooth and creamy. Also great for getting into the sides and getting all of those lumps out of the gravy. Hey, who would have thought of that, eh? I'll tell you, this thing has a lot of uses. And this is one of the ones that I like to use it in. So we're just going to let that thicken up a little bit. And you can see that a lot of the brownings off the bottom of the pan have disappeared. And they're now going to give that gravy a nice color. We're going to season it with a little bit of thyme. There's already enough salt and pepper in the lemon pepper rub that you can season it at the table. Yeah, that's thyme. About a teaspoon or so. You don't want to overwhelm it. You just want to accentuate the flavor a little bit. Back in go the leeks and the bacon. Now, I did say that you get 3 leeks in a bunch. You only use about 1 leek in this recipe. What do you do with the rest? Put it in a baggie and freeze it. Why? Because it's going to go soft anyhow when you cook it. It's going to go soft after it comes out of the freezer. All you need to do is incorporate it into the recipe and there you're done. Piece of cake. And we're just going to layer the chicken bone side down because that's the thickest part of the meat. And we're just going to cover it and we're going to let it simmer for about 40 minutes, because even though we've seared it, you can definitely tell it's not cooked all the way through. It's got a lot of pink in it. So in it goes, again, bone side down, thickest part of the meat, the part that takes the longest to cook, and we will finish it off together. I'm going to get the boiled potatoes started. We have a feast tonight. We have homemade sourdough bread. We have the braised chicken. We have the mashed potatoes or boiled potatoes to go with it. Oh, wow. I bet you guys all wish you were having dinner at my house tonight. Talk to you in a bit.